Dallas is wearing the most elegant of evening costumes. We call the fabric Gold Bar.
Vera, this is the last time I'm going to warn you. You get those girls out on cue, or I'll find someone who can do it.
Look, you don't...
Will you go on? Move it!
Vera, try not to take him so serious. He's under a lot of pressure.
Yes, I know, Mr. Garth. Is that your answer again?
Vera, you keep calling me Mr. Garth. Can't you just forget that St. Clair and I are partners and just call me Marvin?
Marvin. Excuse me, the show.
St. Clair.
I told you to stay out front. Keep out of the way.
I'll stay where I damn well please.
Garth, take my advice. From now on, be my silent partner.
One of the world's most beautiful models, Christina Berenson, draped in a fantasy black chiffon, and she feels beautiful. Christina Berenson.
Christina, all those superlatives I just said about you, don't take them too seriously.
Haven't you just once done something nice for someone?
Oh, I certainly hope not. And I'm not going to start with someone I know as much about as I do you. Be happy, darling.
The only thing that could make me happy is to see you dead.
Try to pretend, Vera, just for the next few minutes, that you don't hate me as much as they do.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most talked about designer from Los Angeles to New York to London. The incredible Valentine St. Clair. Looks like a remote control device.
He's dead.
You sure he won't mind? Christina, if you know Houston as well as you claim to, there's absolutely nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. I wouldn't exactly call a first-degree murder charge nothing to worry about. Besides, it's been a while since Houston and I haven't seen him in a while.
I think you're putting the cart before the horse. Lieutenant Novelli isn't having you arrested. He simply wants you available.
But everybody knows how I felt about Valentine, and a lot of people heard me say I wanted to see him dead.
That would make you a prime suspect.
Rupert. Let's go get the... Oh, now, come on. Time out here. Time out.
Time? What do you mean, time? We didn't set any time limit.
Yeah, well, old Rupert here's not feeling up to snuff. I mean, he just flew in from Florida, and I bet you he's a little airsick. Jet lag or something.
Frogs don't get jet lag.
Well, this one does. Now, I mean, he's real sensitive. He comes from a long line of champions, fellas. He's a real thoroughbred, and I bet you he's got some Arabian in him, don't you?
I don't care. You can't call a race in the middle. It just ain't fair. What are you gonna do, Houston? You gonna forfeit?
Well, no, sir. Old Rupert can jump circles around your frog.
Well, how'd you like to put your money where your frog is?
You got yourself a bet. Double or nothing, they'll run on Sunday.
Hello, Rooster.
Hello, Squeaky.
Rooster and Squeaky. It's been a while.
I bet you it's been 6 years, hasn't it? Let's go back to the office and get some lunch.
Houston, you forgot something, me.
One thing's for sure, Rupert's legs are probably better for eating than for jumping.
Don't you worry about a thing, Chris. Old Vincent DeBelly's a friend of mine. I think I can reason with him.
Has a much bigger problem than that, Houston.
Believe me, there's nothing bigger than murder one. Except maybe that thing you're wearing on your finger. It's a little too big for a friendship ring, isn't it?
It's the real thing, Houston. It's wonderful. I met my Prince Charming just like you said I would.
Man, my big mouth. Do I know him?
He's a congressman.
Oh, I see. I'm beginning to get it now. You get busted and his career goes bust, not to mention your love life with him, right? And you want me to help you? Now, what the hell? For old time's sake, don't worry about a thing. Old Rooster's gonna fix it. I don't quite understand is this deal with the remote control device, you know?
Well, the lieutenant thinks it might have launched the arrow that killed Valentine.
Yeah, well, how'd you end up with it?
I don't know. It was all in the commotion. Valentine was lying there dead, and people are screaming, and all of a sudden I felt something drop by me on the floor. Right there on the floor. It was the remote.
I'll tell you what, why don't we skip lunch? Then you go back to the hotel and get some rest. I'll get cracking on this thing.
Houston, I didn't do it.
We think the arrow was launched electronically. And when Valentine was killed, your lady friend was standing over there with this remote control device by her feet. And we have an eyewitness. That's her, Vera Martin.
Oh, thanks, Vince. Yeah, excuse me, my name's Matthew.
Yes, I know, Houston. You are Christina's friend.
That's right.
I'm glad she has someone like you to stand by her.
Well, thank you.
You know, I feel terrible about having to tell the police. You know, I saw the clicker by her feet.
Yeah, well, of course you did. I tell you, I need to ask you a question. Can you tell me what kind of man Valentine St. Clair was?
Passionate, explosive, moody. Well, you see, he was an artist.
Yeah, well, if he wasn't an artist, could it be construed as rude and obnoxious and downright unlikable?
Well, he wasn't an easy person to get along with. But you see, for me, well, I know it might sound corny, to learn at the feet of a master, well, I guess there's still some old-fashioned hero worship in me. I'll miss him.
Yeah, who won't miss him?
I'm not going to swallow any more red ink. Now, if they want to sue, then I'm going to declare bankruptcy. Then they're going to have to wait till the middle of the month to get paid. That's their choice.
Before you ask, that's Mr. Garth, Valentine's partner.
Yeah, will he miss him?
Well, everyone knows that they had their differences, while the real screaming was with his wife, Valeska Debrecen, over the divorce. She was in the audience yesterday when he was killed.
Houston figured he'd better track down St. Clair's ex-wife, Valeska Debrecen. He found her at the Psychic Research Institute, which she owns. It's a strange place with an even stranger owner.
Thinking of the pattern, and only the pattern, and hearing only the sound of my voice. No other sounds intrude, no other images, only the image of the pattern. It fills your mind.
Well, would you look at that? That's fantastic.
At age 7, I fell from a ladder, struck my head, and from that time on, have possessed powers. I'm trying in this institute to explain them.
Well, that's all very interesting, but we were talking about Valentine, your husband, rather your ex-husband.
And the divorce.
Right.
Yes. Well, it was a marriage of convenience. At the time, we needed each other. It was a marriage in name only. We each went our separate ways.
Well, folks have been saying that you two were doing an awful lot of shouting, that things were getting a little bitter.
Valentine lived his life at the top of his voice, but I really fail to see how I can help your client, Mr. Houston. I was one of those who heard her threaten to kill my husband.
Yeah, well, you were at the showing yesterday. Why was that?
To wish Valentine luck. I still do own a piece of the company. It helps fund my research. Watch.
Yeah, well, after seeing this and the cards on the table and everything, it does kind of lead me to believe that you know a thing or two about showbiz.
It is not show business, Mr. Houston. This institute is world-renowned. Our works are supported by donations from every country in the free world.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's something to it, but see, I already gave it the offer.
Something to it! That sundial. I think it's a bit slow. Tricks, Mr. Houston. Magicians and jesters perform tricks. We are refining powers that are within the greatest powerful equipment ever made, the human mind. And now I think you'd better go.
Okay. I'll just let myself out. Tell you something, CJ. Now, I'm less than partial to being shot at, and I'd just as soon we find out who did it before they try it again.
Well, let's see if Baby did the homework I assigned for.
Let her rip.
Marvin Garth, former accountant. About 4 years ago, he poured everything he had into St. Clair's company. Now, the profits are marginal, but Mr. Garth is living a mite high on the hog.
How high?
Bankruptcy high. Until St. Clair's death, he is now the sole beneficiary of a $1 million life insurance policy.
Well, $1 million is a good reason for murder.
You bet. You sure are glad to see her, aren't you?
Who?
Squeaky.
Next picture, CJ.
Vera Martin, about 2 years ago, she became St. Clair's assistant. Very talented, very ambitious lady. Some people say that she's a lot more talented than her late unlamented boss.
Well, ambitious ladies have been known to kill before. What's next?
Valeska Debrican, St. Clair's ex-wife.
Oh, yeah, well, you can cross her off your list. I tell you, this lady does not need an electronic gizmo to kill.
Mind control tricks?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that lady do some things that give a whole new meaning to the word spooky.
Does it now? Are you sure it wasn't just an illusion? Houston, she used to be in showbiz. Before she launched that Psychic Institute, she was a hypnotist. Used to call herself Madame Valeska.
Now, wait a minute. What are you trying to tell? You mean you're trying to tell me that I didn't really see what I saw and that she planted all that in my mind?
Well, let me put it to you this way, Houston. There are some women that can make a man think just about anything they want. Speaking of which, why don't you tell me about Squeaky Rooster? Were you engaged or what?
Look, can I be real honest with you, CJ?
Shoot.
All right. I'll tell you something. I have only really loved, and I mean really loved, once in my life. It was so complete, so deep. I just don't think I'm ever going to be able to match that again.
Christina's that good?
Christina? I'm talking about Rupert. My frog.
Houston, where are you going now?
To a fashion show.
You mean to see Squeaky, don't you?
Hold that elevator!
He did it again.
Don't
I'm not forget what that man looks like. Houston, you have got to read these merger papers. We are already 1 week late.
Well, Murray, what are we wasting our time on this puny little merger for when Rupert so desperately needs your help?
Rupert. What firm is he with?
Rupert's a frog that won't jump, which might mean you're in a lot of trouble, Murray.
Me? Trouble? I never even met the frog.
Well, you'll like him. I tell you what, you find the world's best frog expert and you put him in touch with me pronto.
But Houston,
No buts, Murray. Now, as soon as we get old Rupert jumping straight, then we'll talk about this little merger.
Houston, where do I find a frog jumping expert?
Call a frog.
Christina Berenson is wearing the most opulent slither of a black dress, covered with its own chiffon stole, edged in feathers. The dress underneath is a shaft of feminine brilliance. Slip the stole down, and the world is treated to the most exciting woman alive.
Renee! Renee! Honey, go find Renee. She's gonna miss her cue.
Both Lamia wondrous.
Should have stayed in accounting.
Oh, there, Mr. Garth. This seems like an awful lot of trouble. I mean, how much could the Valentine label be worth now that St. Clair's dead?
As long as Vera's around, everything is fine. See, Vera is great. She's the one that designed most of last year's bestsellers. Just that Valentine got all the credit.
Well, if that's the case, Valentine's death is a pretty good break for you. And
Let's not get ridiculous. Fact of the matter is, St. Clair and I took out duplicate insurance policies, naming each other as the beneficiary. That's a very common practice between partners. Yes, Houston, I need money, but not enough to kill for it. Excuse me.
The look of bugle beads sparkle, bedazzle, and dazzle.
Christina?
They look at this woman as if to say, she's a tiger, she's alive, she's vital. She moves into your life with the same romantic, beautiful opulence, the brightest flower does. Our next model wears the Renaissance sleeve, the above-the-table romance of that lady says, I'm a woman. I'm proud to be a woman. I'm glad to be alive. Black chiffon, soft and gold. The look
Are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. If I was all right, I never would have left Texas and sold my ranch. And came out here, California. Feeling a little better now.
Ecco qua. A beautiful antipasto for a beautiful lady.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Novelli.
Oh, all my friends call me Mama. And you're my friend, Belitza.
Thank you, Mama.
So, friend to friend, what's the secret, huh? I use all the same makeup as you do. Hey, how come you look like that and I look like this, huh? Huh? Hey, but 30 years ago, ooh, I'd have given you a run for your money. Hey, and my son Vince wants to see you in the back.
Yeah, I'll be right there, Mom.
How can you be so calm? You were almost killed.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned with right now is finding a killer.
It never would have happened if you hadn't been trying to help me. What I'd like to say to you is thanks.
Listen, would Rooster ever desert Squeaky? I mean, really, think about it.
Houston, no matter what happens, promise me you'll always remember how beautiful it was between us.
I'll be right back. Don't you move. Vince, Mama said you... Well, it can't be that bad.
What?
Well, whatever it is that's making you frown and smooshing up your face like that.
Houston, I know you care for that girl. And what I got to say is not going to make you happy.
You better go on, Vince.
How long has it been since you've seen her, and what was she doing in between?
Well, it's been a few years since we've seen each other, and she's been doing a little traveling.
Wrong. Up to 6 months ago, she was living with Valentine St. Clair.
Bitch. That's impossible.
Is it? Well, she needed him. He needed her. She moved in. 3 years later, they had a big fight. She moved out, met the congressman, wanted to marry him, only St. Clair wouldn't let her out of her contract. Threatened to dump the whole story on the congressman.
Houston, CJ's on the phone. She says it's urgent.
I'm sorry, Houston. She's been lying to you. Let me ask you another thing. How'd you get so lucky to be backstage just in time for that lamp to almost drop on your head? Someone took a shot at you to boot.
Vince, you better give me some time to prove that you're wrong.
Okay, tomorrow there's a buyer's brunch. Then everybody's gonna scatter to the 4 winds. By then, the lab boys will be able to tell me if the clicker in your client's hand triggered the arrow. If so, I've got to arrest her.
Hello, CJ.
Houston, I think you better come home. Valeska Debrakin is here, and she says she knows who killed her husband. Bye-bye.
It was Vera Martin, my husband's assistant or protege. As much as she said she loved him, I know he was going to fire her.
Oh, this is another one of your psychic revelations?
No, actually. I was going through my husband's things. He typically dictated notes to himself. Take a haircut, do this, do that. Fire Vera. Oh, and he had that vindictive streak in his voice, too. When he said fire Vera, he meant ruin Vera. He would have done it, too. And she had to know it. In a way, I really can't blame her.
Well, thank you, Miss Valeska. I will make sure that Lieutenant Novelli gets this evidence right away.
Oh, I knew you would.
Yeah, my secretary will see you out.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you, the ingredients we've got in this Valentine mess, we could stir up a whole pot of Texas chili.
Well, I've got a hunk of pepper to drop in the pot, which I just found out about an hour ago. Now, apparently Valentine used to like to have his European show about a month after his American show. It was canceled this year.
Well, who canceled it?
His partner, Garth, the day before Valentine was murdered.
Well, it kind of sounds like our budget-minded ex-accountant figured a way he could save $1 or $2 if he knew Valentine wasn't going to be around in a month.
The thought had crossed my mind. By the way, it's your shot.
Yeah, so that gives us Vera, Christina, and Garth. They've all got Mom.
Mom?
Yeah. See, that's method, opportunity, and motive. You see, Garth inherits the business and $1 million worth of insurance money, and Vera gets to keep her job.
And becomes head designer.
And that brings us to Christina.
Houston, our clients are never guilty unless you know something I don't know.
Well, you better get rested up, because we've got an awful big day tomorrow. I need you to do a couple things for me. First, find out who's been sending the flowers to Vera. Second, I want you to get dressed up in your best bib and tucker and meet me at the buyer's party, because I think it's about time we started stirring a few of these folks up.
I think it's time you tried to make a good shot.
Yeah, well, I haven't got a shot.
There is no such thing as a frog jumping expert, at least not in this metropolitan area. There is, however, someone in Moss's Marsh, Florida, who is recognized as an authority.
Well, send a plane, Murray.
He only comes out of the Okefenokee at flood season, and the last flood was 1974.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me we can't find him?
Some say he's not a man at all, but merely a legend. Walking the swamp when the moon...
Murray. What is that?
I can save you the reading. There are only 2 ways to make a frog jump. Food or a predator. No tricks. There's no pep talk you can give him. I never heard of the Gipper, and they don't know from God and country. Here's your shot.
Where?
2-ball combination, 12-ball in the corner. Not just another pretty face, you know.
While I was checking out the florist to see who sent the flowers to Vera, Houston was off to the buyer's brunch to do some buying in his own fashion. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that.
Why, Mr. Houston, how nice to see you.
Well, thank you. Boy, you're looking pretty enough to be one of the models.
What's the Texas word for flatterer?
True.
You know, it's such a shame that Mr. Valentine isn't here to see all of this. We've had over $2 million worth of bookings.
Yeah, well, if he was here, you wouldn't be, right?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, the truth is he was going to fire you, Vera. And then he was going to destroy your name in the industry, right? Now, you've got to admit, Vera, that's a pretty strong motive for murder, isn't it?
He'd been promising me a partnership. And then he wouldn't come through. Of course he was going to ruin me. He wouldn't let me leave and compete against him. So he was planning to destroy my name to save his.
Well, I guess you don't have to worry about that now, do you?
Excuse me, Vera. Suzanne seems to be having a problem down there, and she said you're the only one that could solve it. Could you run back there for a second?
Gladly. This conversation has ended anyway.
Mr. Houston, I wish you wouldn't bother Vera.
Well, listen, I just wanted to ask her a couple of questions. Which brings me to you. I need to ask you a couple, too. First one being, why did you cancel the European showing?
The show was going far over budget. I felt that the money could be better used elsewhere.
Yes and no. Yes, I know that. See, the trouble is that you canceled it the day before Valentine died.
Mr. Houston, I don't like your tone. And I don't see why I should carry on this conversation any further.
Mr. Houston, what a surprise. Excuse me.
I didn't really know that psychics could get surprised.
Well, I simply meant that I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't really expect to see you here either.
Most of these people are my friends. After all, I was married to Valentine for 7 years.
Yes, no, and just 6 months after you were married, you retired from your stage career, Madame Valeska. You see, I'm really curious to find out why you switched from your nightclub hypnotist act to your mind reading.
I don't like what you're thinking. Good day, Mr. Houston.
Houston. Houston.
Did you find out who was sending the flowers to Vera?
Yes, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to announce that the proud tradition, the trend-setting designs of Valentine St. Clair fashions will live on through the enormous talent of his own protege, Vera Martin.
Thank you very much. And now, to whet your appetites for next season, I have a small preview. Christina, if you please.
You know, I'll bet you old Garth is Vera's secret admirer. You should have seen the look he shot me when I challenged her. I think he's in love. He just might be in love enough to protect her. Maybe even enough to kill Valentine for her.
Good motive, wrong suspect, Houston. You're not gonna like this. Vera's secret admirer?
Christina.
Right. Sorry, Houston, but it's beginning to look more and more like she's the one who killed Valentine.
Christina, I do not want you lying to me anymore.
I'm not lying to you, Houston. I wouldn't do that. Not to you.
Since when, now?
Christina, those flower arrangements, you bought them with your credit card. I saw the receipts.
Yes, I bought them, CJ. But I am not Vera's secret admirer. Garth asked me to buy those flowers for Vera. He's so shy and, well, he's very much in love with her.
Christina, what was it you told me you've been doing for the last couple of years?
Traveling.
Wrong. You weren't.
I was living with Valentine up until a couple of months ago when I met Brian. I couldn't tell him about Valentine, and I didn't want to tell you because I didn't think you would help me.
You didn't think I was going to help you? Christina, I thought that we meant a little more to each other than that.
Hello? Hold on. It's Vince.
Hello, Vince.
How you doing, Houston? Where's Christina?
Well, I'm not really sure, Vince. The last time I saw her was at the buyer's party. Why?
Yeah, well, I'm in her dressing room, and I'm sorry to tell you this, my friend, but we found enough evidence to book her for murder 1. stuff in the cushion.
How convenient.
Yeah. Well, the wires match and the remote matches. That's a schematic of the actual work done. It matches.
Christina's innocent. Now, Vince, this 7 proves it.
You tell her what I'm thinking?
I see the number 7.
Right. Now, I'm thinking Americans don't put slashes in them. Europeans do. So do you.
And you're thinking that I planted the drawing in Christina's dressing room.
Bingo. I'm also thinking that a handwriting specialist is going to be able to prove that you made those drawings. Prove that you murdered your husband.
He would have destroyed this. All of it. If the divorce settlement came through, they were going to sell this land.
I hope you're not asking for sympathy. This lady, you're a killer.
Hold it. Right there.
You're not entirely factual when you were describing the murder of my husband. I had help, Mr. Houston.
I would imagine it was for the same reason, money, right?
That's right. Now that Valentine is dead, Valeska gets to keep the Institute. And I get all the insurance money plus the company.
We were a team in the best sense, Mr. Houston. I planned the murder. Garth carried it out.
It was all a trick. Just like everything here, a trick, right?
Don't make the mistake of underestimating me, Mr. Houston. The mind is an extremely powerful instrument. You'd be surprised what mine is capable of. But then you remember we talked about the mind, its potential, how the mind is susceptible to suggestions, some more so than others. We have a problem, don't we? You know that we killed Valentine, but you're not going to tell anyone, are you? Look at me, Mr. Houston. Here. Take the gun. Take the gun! Now, Mr. Houston, look at me. Put the gun to your head. Isn't it a shame that when you discovered your beloved Christina was guilty, you decided to take your own life? Pull the trigger, Mr. Houston.
All right, the party's over, Witchy Poo. I believe this is what you call a Mexican standoff.
Your power is stronger than I thought, Mr. Houston. But I'm afraid your gun isn't loaded. If you don't believe me, try it. Pull the trigger.
Sometimes her witch stuff works, and sometimes it doesn't. Now it's my turn.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Look, before you shoot me, I want to tell you something. See, since I was here the other day, I've been practicing. You see that sundial there? Watch this. Get up off of there. Come on. I'm tired of picking you up.
Stop right there, Houston.
Oh, come on, Valeska. I'm tired of your games. I'm too tuckered out. I don't want to play anymore.
You may be tired, but the mind is never tired. It works even while you sleep.
Is there a point to this lecture?
Look above us, Mr. Houston.
Oh, this is a bunch of hogwash. Now, I believed it once, but I'm not going to believe it again. Now, you come out of there. Now, come on, you just get out of there. I swear, I don't care. Come on. Listen, you got to quit scaring people with all this mumbo-jumbo stuff. I mean, it really frightens some of them, and it's just not good.
I remember the first time you brought me here. I never wanted to leave.
It was a different time, wasn't it?
I'm not so sure I want to leave now.
If you stay, you'll never really know, will you?
What do you mean?
You know anything about frogs?
I hate frogs.
That's what I thought. Look at your clothes and your satin. See, Christina, I love frogs.
Bye, Rooster.
Bye, Squeaky.
Ready? Go! Come on! Come on, Ready! Go! The other way! Anyway, just jump! Ready! Come on, Ready! Before you can go first, Ready! Ready, go! Come on, Ready! Go! Go! Whoa! Rupert! Did you see that jump? I've never seen a jump like that ever. My golly, that ain't possible.
Well, boys, I can't tell a lie. I do have a secret weapon. I want you to meet Hildegard. Now, being the official holder of the earnings, I'm going to announce that Houston and Rupert are the winners.
Well, that's cheating. Using a female to lure a critter on. I don't know. I never seen any rules written down about it.
Pretty slick item, Miss Parsons.
You know something, Houston? There's an old saying. You gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince.
Ribbit.
chains are up. The play is going to be run over to the left side. And if they get it over there and get it out of bounds, that'll help them a little bit. They do get it out of bounds. Less than 1 minute to play. And the Jacksonville Hurricanes, nursing a 17-13 4-point advantage. They are already the Eastern Division champions. And if the Bearcats could come back and win this ball game, they would clinch the Western Division title, and the two teams would play right here next week in that big playoff game. Everybody in the stadium now expecting the long pass from Murdoch. He sends a man up the middle. Oh, what a surprise play, and a play that'll be questionable.
Oh, come on, fellas.
I don't know why they just don't put Randy in.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're crazy. I mean, that quarterback around. Besides that,
The Bearcats are at the line of scrimmage. Bobby Berger marking out on them from start to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on along the sideline. Buck Turley is pacing. He's made a decision. I think he's going to. Yes, he is going to bring in dandy Randy Haynes to play quarterback in the final play of this game and maybe of the year.
What's going on down there? Crush it. Give me that headset. Curly, it's a striker. What the hell do you think you're doing?
This game is on the line, Striker. Haynes is our only chance to pull it out. I'm going to put him in.
Now listen, you stick that has-been back on the bench where it belongs. Put in that toss-back draw play we worked on. Curly, did you hear me? Curly!
You should have fired him 6 weeks ago when you wanted to. Your first instincts to destroy people are usually your best.
Why don't you shut up?
He's the best coach in the league, and Randy's the best quarterback you have in the field.
What is this? Mutiny on the bounty? Hired hand, caught back?
Jacksonville will rush only 3 men on this play, dropping them back for pass defense.
Down. Ted.
Haynes takes the snap. He drops back. We're down to 5 seconds, to 4 seconds. He's looking for somebody. Can't find him. He might be sacked. The long bomb. There's Bobby McMasters in the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats!
For coach, doesn't it?
Randy Haynes has thrown that touchdown pass to McMasters, and it's a 20-17 victory for the Bearcats.
That's the way to go there, Randy. That's the way to go. Hey, Randy, get it on.
What a finish we had here today. Moments ago, the press had gathered over at the Jacksonville locker room door, but now, of course, they're in the California locker room. I want to talk to the players, to the coaches, and everybody else, but first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk to the owner of the California Bearcats, and he is Mr. Jock Striker. Sir, there are rumors that there is dissension on your ball club, and yet the Bearcats came back in the final minute, in fact, on the last play of the game and win the championship. Does your team thrive on inner turmoil?
Inner turmoil? The only inner turmoil I hear about is what I read in the papers. Sometimes I think you news hens, you tend to blow things out of proportion. Hey, look, we're in the playoffs, ain't we?
You are in the playoffs. You are the Western Division champions.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more in just a minute.
My luck, I guess. I couldn't find anybody in the opening. All of a sudden, Bobby McMasters got. Hey! How you doing?
How are you?
I'd expect you to be here.
Well, you don't think I'd miss your shot at the playoffs, do you? I mean, I flew all the way in from Kansas City, and I tell you, you did it again in the last 7 seconds.
Well, just like you did against Penn State. 18 seconds to go, and you complete 3 touchdown passes.
Well, how about you against Notre Dame and that 88 yards? I tell you, you pulled it off with no time left.
Who is it? Who's out there? Oh, it's you. Now, what do you want? Well? What's this, the game ball? Hey, what is this, a gag? Huh?
morning, CJ.
Good morning, Houston. What took you so long to get here?
Well, I decided to swing out over the Pacific and watch the whales heading down to Mexico. Boy, they're pretty.
Houston, that's wonderful, but I've been trying to reach the ranch for the last hour. Now, our unfavored owner, Jock Stryker, was murdered last night. Look at this.
The police got any idea who did it?
Not yet, but you got a call from Randy. Now, he wants to talk to you pronto, and he sounds like a man in big trouble.
What are we waiting for? Well, hello, Vince. What are you doing here?
Guess I could ask you the same question.
Well, let's just say we're here as concerned fans.
Oh, then you do have a client.
Well, right now he's just a friend. Now, have you got any idea who killed Stryker?
Yeah. Somebody who didn't like him. Take your pick. See, Houston.
Vince is certainly in a good mood, don't you think?
Yeah. Wonder what he's up to. There's Brady. Come on.
Kick. 1, 2, 3, shake.
All right, we'll start scrimmage in about 10 minutes. Oh, Doyle, you go in for O'Farrell on the blue team. Hey, Crusher. What's Woody limping about? Late hours or a pulled muscle?
I guess. Both.
Hey!
Hey, old buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Hey, it's CJ. How are you?
Hi. Great game last night.
Well, thank you.
I understand you got a problem.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it was no secret how Stryker and I got along. One screaming match after the next. But now you got to understand, he always set me on the bench. He wouldn't play me.
Well, Randy, you do have a reputation that makes Broadway Joe look like a Boy Scout. How much did that figure in Stryker's thinking?
Well, I guess a lot. But now that reputation is past tense. It has to be. These knees aren't what they used to be. Houston, with luck, I got a couple more years left, and that's it. I need them. I'm broke.
Broke? What do you mean, broke?
Well, when I didn't blow, my business manager stole. But I still got a couple more years to make up for it.
If you can get a second chance to prove yourself, right?
Look, as long as I am not accused of murder, there's a big company who wants to hire me as their spokesman. We're talking about a line of sports clothes, commercials, personal appearances, endorsements. We're talking long-term big bucks.
Well, Randy, that's all great, but would you do me a favor? We've been friends for an awful long time. Just look me right in the eyes and tell me why you wanted me to come down here. Because I got this feeling that you think that the police are coming after you and nobody else. Now, why is that?
You always could read me faster than a bad pass defense.
Well, you always used to say good pass defense.
Well, that's when we were in college. You were helping me in my calculus papers.
Yeah, you were terrible at it.
You know, look, I got a call this morning. I couldn't recognize the voice. It was very muffled. They claim to have ironclad evidence that I killed Stryker.
What kind of ironclad evidence?
I don't know. They wouldn't say.
Well, whatever it is, the mystery voice is probably trying to sell it. Did he say how much?
No, I didn't say that. He said he wanted to meet first.
Randy, if you're being blackmailed, you should have told Novelli.
Well, would you? I mean, if the world knows you hate somebody and he's found dead, would you go call the cops when somebody claims they got evidence against you?
Listen, where'd you leave it with the blackmailer?
Well, he's going to call me back. Tell me where and when.
When he does, you get in touch with me, all right? Pronto.
You got it. But Houston, I'm scared. I did not kill Stryker. This thing could mess me up. When I'm done with football, I mean, I'm not like you. There's nothing else. I got to make the most of these last 2 years.
So why don't you get yourself out there and get ready for the big game? We'll see what we can do about this thing, huh?
Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Right. I gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Randy. They believe you?
Of course he did. Told you, Woody, my best pal.
Hey, guys, look at him. Ladies, this is football, not a peep show. Now pay attention. Come on, get back in line. Come on. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
After 3 days, Randy's blackmailer still hadn't called, but Houston and I used the time to begin our investigation of the dead man and round up a list of people who might have wanted to kill him. Now, here we have Jock Stryker, the murder victim. Obviously, this was the man with the Midas touch. He not only owned the Bearcats, but he was on the board of 9 major corporations, and he had a little saying, "I don't get ulcers, I give them." Andrea Lott. She met Stryker 4 years ago when she was hired to organize the team cheerleaders. Apparently, he enjoyed her, shall we say, team enthusiasm. They've been living together ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, did she stand to inherit anything?
Well, I still haven't figured out who got what, but I did find out that Stryker used to occasionally use her as a punching bag.
Well, that's rude.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's Buck Turley.
Looks a lot like Bear Bryant.
You know, he's the best coach in professional football.
Also, they had the classic love-hate relationship. Stryker loved him when they won, hated him when they lost. And Turley just flat out hated Stryker. He thought that all team owners were necessary evils.
Yeah, well, you better do a little more checking on him, CJ.
Thanks a lot, Houston.
You're welcome.
And last but not least, we have Crusher Kowalski. He has the extraordinary title of player rep, but in fact, he was only a gopher for the deceased. Now, they were close for many years, but in the last few weeks of Stryker's life, they argued a lot.
You neglected to mention that Crusher Kowalski was a 3-time All-Pro lineman, traded 2 years ago to the Bearcats, never played a single game for his new team. Football is sort of a hobby of mine.
Funny, you don't look like a football fan.
Do you want some more? Stats are my most fun. Most efficient passer, Sammy Baugh. Pass completion percentage, 70.3, 1945 at the Washington Redskins. High point scorer lifetime, George Bland at 2002. Longest kickoff return.
Yeah, Murray. Now, what about Crusher? Now, how come he never played for the Bearcats?
An auto accident in the preseason. Leg injuries.
Hello? Yes, hang on. It's Randy.
Hey, Randy.
I just got a call from the blackmailer. He wants me to meet him tonight.
What time?
8:30 at the stadium.
Listen, I don't want you anywhere near there, all right? You let me handle everything. Good enough. Oh, listen, CJ, tonight was the night I was supposed to treat you to that Texas T-bone with all the trimmings, right?
Yes, it is, and I'm not going to let you get out of it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, in that case, if I'm a little late, why don't you go ahead and start without me, okay?
Houston, where are you going?
While you're keeping the T-bone warm, I'm going to the stadium, and I hope to catch a blackmailer. Why'd you hit me?
Look, I didn't hit you. I found you like this.
You know, somebody hit me. How come I'm all wet?
You were in the whirlpool. I pulled you out. Somebody was trying to drown you. I didn't see who. When he heard me coming, he ran and got away.
Wait a minute, don't I know you from someplace?
Too Mean Malone.
That's right, you're a lineman for the Bearcats.
Yeah, me and Randy are buddies, real close. That's why I've been following you. I want to help you out on this case.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but maybe...
I said I was going to help you. Well, let's just say I saw this movie once about an ex-football player who wanted to become a private eye. Well, it got me thinking. I got my future to consider.
Yeah, I tell you what, maybe we could discuss this another time.
Are you trying to say you don't want my help?
No. Yeah, you see, it just takes time to train a detective. You got to...
I'm a fast learner. Ask the coach.
I'll tell you something. See, my head's really not hitting on all 8 cylinders right now. Now, okay. Yeah, I do have something for you to do. You see, I need to find out who's got keys to this place, who might have left it open so you and I could get in here. Now, can you run that down for me?
I'm already on it.
Hey, Crusher, Neil's phone for you.
I'll lay off the contact work this week. Just concentrate on the passing drills. I need you in top shape Sunday, boy.
Okay, Buck, thanks. I'll be ready. Don't worry.
All right.
Hey, Houston. Heads up. It's not bad, Houston. You haven't lost much over the years.
Yeah, well, I almost lost it all last night. Instead of catching a blackmailer, I almost got myself killed.
What?
Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I got the same problem. You see, the question is somebody really trying to blackmail you, or were they just setting you up for an ambush? I'll tell you something, Randy, it doesn't make much sense. And the only thing I can figure is that somebody's got something on you, and you're not telling me anything about it.
Well, I swear I don't know.
Oh, come on, Randy. This is me, Houston. Now, we've been through an awful lot together. Now, how am I supposed to help you if you don't let me know what's going on?
All right, there's one possibility. Look, a couple of months ago, Stryker threw a party. I had a little bit too much to, well, let's say a lot too much to drink. Stryker benched me. I was mad. We had another shouting match.
Well, who else was there?
Oh, Andrea, Turley, practically the whole team.
Did you threaten to kill him?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I was drunk. If you want to get the exact words, talk to Andrea.
Why Andrea?
Well, she lived with Stryker. She'd have his tapes.
What tapes?
Well, he was kind of a recording freak, I guess, like Nixon. Taped everything that went on inside his office. Looks like I'm in a little bit of trouble, huh?
Well, we've been in worse jams than this before.
Now, Houston is a man who never forgets a face, especially a beautiful one. So while I went back to the office to dig further into our suspects, he went on alone to talk to Andrea Lott. War is hell.
Now, I would like the chairs all around here, and the podium for the minister should go right there, okay?
Well, I tell you, this is some yard. How many head of cattle can you run back here?
Can I help you with something?
Well, my name's Matt Houston, and I'm looking into the death of Mr. Stryker.
Oh, well, I thought the police were handling that.
Well, they are. You see, I'm just looking into it for a client.
And that would be
Randy Haynes.
a great quarterback, lousy politician.
Yeah, I bet you're talking about the night he got drunk out at the party here and threatened to kill Mr. Stryker.
Oh, he's a better man than I thought he was. He had so much to drink that night, I didn't think he'd even remember being here.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I understand that Mr. Stryker used to make tape recordings of everything that went on here. Do you suppose I could listen to the one at the party that night?
Well, I don't see why not. Come on, they're in the cabana.
As a matter of fact, I'd kind of like to listen to all of them if I could.
So you could find out who would like to kill Stryker? That's going to be a long list.
You wouldn't happen to be on that list, would you?
Me? No, I'm the last one to want to see him dead. Jock was the answer to this working girl's dream.
From what I understand, he wasn't above working over his working girl.
Jock was an ugly and mean man, but he gave me more chances than anybody else in this world. When I did a good job organizing the cheerleaders, he put me in charge of publicity. This year, he was going to make me a vice president. No, not because I live here, but because I earned it.
Did you earn the beatings?
Maybe. The first time he beat me up, I thought I was going to die. Then he came to the hospital and he cried and said he was sorry. That day, he gave me 1% of the team. That was 3.5 years ago. I now have 7% of the team.
Tough way to make a living.
What, getting beaten up?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Don't all of us working stiffs have to get beaten up every day? The boss that yells at us, or do people have to work the rest of their lives in some factory? There's a lot of humiliation in this world, Mr. Houston. So what's an occasional fist in the face? The tape you wanted would have been August 5th. It's not here.
Are there any of the tapes missing?
No, they're all in order.
Yeah. I believe somebody beat me to it.
Well, I'm back.
Good, CJ. What'd you find out?
First of all, Stryker's will. Andrea Lotta is sitting pretty. She inherited the mansion. Its market value is approximately $2 million.
Sounds like she's coming out the jumbo winner in Stryker's death. What else do you get?
Well, the next one's a real pearl. Buck Turley is not only a good coach, he's a first-rate negotiator. His contract gives him 20% ownership of the club.
That's a sweet deal.
Apparently, Stryker thought it was too sweet a deal. He hired a business manager to find some way to get out of it.
And now that Stryker's dead...
Well, obviously, he can't contest the contract, so Turley's a rich man.
Yeah. Well, who else has something to gain by Stryker's death?
Well, Houston, I hate to say it, but your friend and client, Randy, if Stryker was still alive, Randy would be watching those playoffs from the bench.
Yeah. And now he's got a first-string quarterback position on the football team.
You bet, not to mention a shot at a great contract.
Yeah, CJ. Well, listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Houston, what's bugging you?
Well, I tell you, CJ, it's what you were saying about Stryker earlier. I tell you, if the man went back on his word with Turley and his contract, he's just liable to go back on his word with lots of other people, you know what I mean?
You mean Andrea?
Yeah. You see, when I was going to school and playing football, if you wanted rumors, you went to the locker room. But I tell you, CJ, there are just some locker rooms that I don't have access to.
You don't mean locker room as in teddy bears?
Yeah.
Matlock, Houston, if you think that I went to law school for all those years just to impersonate a cheerleader, I mean...
CJ, hold on. I mean, the thought of that. I wouldn't ask you to impersonate a cheerleader. Now, a photographer or a news person, yeah, listen, you'll be great, CJ.
Great.
Houston, I need you for 5 minutes. We'll talk. You can make fun of me. I just gotta talk to you for 5 minutes. Hold on, never talk. You can make fun of me.
Hold it! Now, come on. I mean, but first off, I can't understand a word you're saying when you're all talking at once. Second off, I really don't have time right now, but now we'll get back to this, all right? Thank you.
Mr. Houston.
Go. Sorry, fellas, you just missed him.
I know who you are, Mr. Houston. I seen you with Randy at the field. There's someone who'd like to talk to you. So, if you don't mind.
Well, I tell you, fellas, right now I'm in the middle of a staff meeting right now, and we were just talking. I suppose the staff meeting could wait a few minutes. Listen, Crusher, you are just the man I wanted to talk to. You know, I've been looking for you.
Come on, Swenson. You want to wear a championship ring, you got to do better than that. Don't bend it, break it in half. Get low.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Crusher.
Coach, Mr. Houston.
Well, glad you could make it, Houston.
How could I resist such a charming invitation?
Well, when I talk to people, I like to do it on my time and my terms. Well, now, that's more like it, Svensson. You might wear that ring yet.
Would you do me a favor and tell me why I'm here?
Oh, it's the game Sunday. For the first time ever, I'm going to run this team the way I want to. And that means that Randy's going to start at quarterback.
Not if he's in jail for murder.
He's innocent. I'm counting on you to prove that.
What makes you so sure that Randy didn't kill Stryker?
Houston, I know my players better than I know my own sons. He is no killer, believe me.
And what about you?
Why would I want to kill Stryker?
Well, it's like you said, now you get a chance to run the team the way you want to. Everybody knows you hated Stryker. That's no secret. Besides that, now that he's dead, there's no chance of him reneging on the contract. Says you get 20% of the team.
Oh, done your homework, haven't you? Yeah, sure, I hated Stryker. The reason I went to work for him, though, is because he gave me a piece of this club. But what the hell, Stryker was always reneging on deals, trying to back out. You see that guy over there?
The Crusher?
Yeah. He had a lifetime contract with Stryker. Tried to get out of that one, too.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a man that'll deal with disappointment very much.
Oh, you are so right, baby, so right.
I'll see you in a minute, Coach. Houston, how's it going? You see any light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I've got so many unanswered questions, I'm lost. Listen, would you do me a favor and give me a lift back into town? I sort of got stuck out here without my car.
Well, sure, you can use my car. Come on, I'll give you a lift down to the parking lot in my cart. Say, Houston, whatever happened that weekend you took Mary Lou McAllister to Laredo?
Wait a minute, I thought you took her. How's your arm doing today?
I'll put it in the cart.
Houston was worried. This morning, Randy was just a suspect. Now, after a second attempt on his life, it was clear he was a target. Someone was trying to kill him. To protect Randy, Houston needed help from Novelli, who at the moment was off duty and having his own problems.
Listen, have you seen Vince Novelli around?
Houston, perfect timing. Hold this, will you?
What are you doing?
Does it look like I'm doing hang gliding? I'm spending my day off cooking. Mama's chef didn't show up and I'm helping her out.
Yeah, but anchovies and lasagna?
Oh, hold on.
Vince, if you'd rein up for a minute, I'd kind of like to talk to you.
I can cook and talk.
Yeah, well, it's about Randy.
Oh, Houston, thank God you're here. Please, could you give my Vince a hand?
Oh, relax, I've helped you before.
That's why I'm worried, figlio mio.
Houston, taste this. How is it?
It's good, Vince. Now, about Randy.
Look, everything's gonna be all right. And since that bomb totaled out his cart, we have a 24-hour police guard on him. He's safe.
Yeah, but Vince, he's gonna be out on that playing field on Sunday, and there's gonna be 70,000 people out there. Now, how are we gonna protect him then?
Look, I'll talk to him at Stryker's memorial tomorrow. I'll convince him not to play.
Vince, it's the most important game of his career. I can guarantee you he's gonna be there.
Listen, he'll be a sitting duck out there. I don't like the look on your face. It usually means trouble.
Yeah, well, not this time, Vince. I'm just trying to figure out a way to protect the man.
What are you talking about?
Well, I could always get my arm back in shape.
You gonna go out there for him?
Vince, he's a friend. I'd do the same thing for you.
You're making yourself a target. That's crazy.
That's what I'm afraid of. This is yours.
As I've said before, there was no way Houston was going to get me to go down to that cheerleader locker room. So obviously, I didn't go.
So, when is our picture going to be in your magazine?
Well, probably the next issue, or the one after that.
What'd you say the name was?
National Sports.
I thought you said it was U.S. Sports.
Did I say that? Well, we changed the title a lot because we want to keep our fans on their toes. Now, we're going to do a little cover story on Andrea Lott. You know, a woman behind the man kind of thing.
She's lucky then.
Really? How's that?
Well, rumor was Stryker was going to dump Andrea. The only reason he hadn't up to now is he had his lawyers trying to get out of some stuff he'd given her.
Did Andrea know that?
Oh, well, if she didn't, she was the only one around here who didn't.
Well, do you think that Andrea is capable of murdering Stryker?
You ask me, I wonder why she waited so long. She's one tough cookie.
Do you think it would help with your layout if you had a shot of me just with my pom-poms?
You bet. Houston, not only did Jock Stryker have his lawyer working against Andrea, but once the bloom fell off the rose, apparently he started seeing a lot of other ladies. And I guess Andrea believes that turnabout is fair play. Rumor had it she had a boyfriend on the side.
It's a happy household. Any idea who the boyfriend is?
Not yet, but I did manage to track down a photograph of Crusher's car wreck and a very interesting tidbit. Apparently, the night of the wreck, when he hurt his knees, he was not alone in that car. Randy Turley and Jock Stryker were all there with him.
Well, how'd it happen?
Wet roads, Crusher lost control of the car. There was an inference that he might have been drunk, but the police never pressed charges.
So the Crusher wrecked his car, ruined his knees, and lost his career.
And then Stryker put him on the payroll for $100 grand a year.
Oh, that's an awful lot of money for a glorified gopher.
Right. And totally out of character for Jock Stryker.
Sir, if you'll just let me explain, I know I can satisfy. So, Houston, help!
I found this guy sneaking around with all these papers.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. He works for us.
Well, he does? Well, he looks so suspicious.
Well, he's paid to look suspicious. He's our accountant.
Houston, why is Too Mean Malone running a security service for you?
I'm his assistant.
A what?
Oh, wait, he's just sort of helping out Murray.
Oh, well, if he's going to be on the payroll, he's going to have to fill out a W-4 and...
No, Murray, you don't understand. He's not on the payroll.
I'm not?
Yeah, well, it's just a technicality. Yeah, Murray, you'll figure that out for me, won't you?
Well, I want to know how he knows who I am.
Oh, Murray's a football fan.
You don't look like no football fan.
Oh, I am. And you're Too Mean Malone, the leading lineman in football. But you've got 19 sacks, 7 interceptions.
And no W-4 form.
No W-4 form?
Too Mean, what are you doing here?
Well, you remember you asked me to find out who might have the key to the locker room.
Oh, that's right. Well, what'd you come up with?
Well, as far as I can tell, the only one is Buck Turley.
It sounds like I better have another little chat with our favorite coach. CJ, while I'm gone, see if you can find something for Too Mean to do.
I'm coming with you.
Like I said, CJ, he's coming with me, and I'll talk to you later.
Maybe he's already gone to Stryker's memorial service.
That's locked. I tell you what, we'll just catch up.
Wait a minute.
Do you realize that's very illegal?
Well, I thought it'd be a shame for us to come all the way down here and not get a chance to take a look around.
That's a good point. Well, isn't that something? I'd say Coach Turley's got some explaining to do.
What is it?
It's tape we've been looking for. I believe it's going to tell us everything we need to know.
Are we early?
Actually, you're a little bit late. We were supposed to start 10 minutes ago.
But nobody's here.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Everybody did hate Stryker.
Well, at least somebody came.
He brought the chairs.
Excuse me, I really hate to say this, but I have a wedding in half an hour and another funeral right after that, so we really should be starting.
Shouldn't we wait for Andrea first?
Well, she called. She won't make it either.
But she lives here.
If we could all be seated, I can begin. The deceased, he was the football person.
Yeah.
Ah, that's what I thought. I pride myself on individualized services, so I prepared something special. Please. Dearly beloved, none of us knows when the big referee will call us. Whether it'll be in the first half or last quarter of our lives. So we should live each day as Jock did, as if it were a 2-minute warning, a grand slam homer, a slam dunker. So when that day comes, when we stand before those pearly goalposts, in that great gridiron in the sky, ready to enter the everlasting end zone, where the last dugout will be found, we can feel proud as Jock Striker, that we played the game as hard as we could down to the final bell. And that through those extra innings of eternity, although it ends in sudden death, we played by the rules. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Houston, hi. There's good news and bad news, Randy. Now, the good news is I found a missing tape.
Yeah, and the bad news, I heard it.
What does it say on the tape, Houston?
No, not much, CJ. Just Randy telling Stryker that if he didn't start him first string this season, he was going to kill him.
But I didn't do it. Look, I swear to it. Look, somebody must have heard the tapes or something.
Get on the radio, set a roadblock. Come on, move.
Are you satisfied now, Vince? I mean, all those shots were meant for Randy. Are you all right?
Yeah.
It's the third time somebody tried to kill him. Now, when are you going to believe the man's innocent?
I believe him. That's what worries me.
Why would that worry you, Vince?
Because Sunday's game is all the closer, and I still don't have a killer. And I'm worried about what happens when number 9 runs on the field to play quarterback.
CJ, I am telling you, we've been going about this thing all wrong. It's not working out. We've been asking ourselves the wrong question. We keep asking ourselves who would want to kill Jock Striker and Randy Haines.
That's the wrong question?
Yeah, see, we ought to be asking ourselves, why would someone want to kill both of them? Now, come on, let's take a look at these motives.
Houston, what we need is a common denominator.
Well, that's right, CJ, but for the life of me, I can't. Wait a minute, that's it.
What's it?
It's backwards.
Oh, good. Now, Houston, if
No,
you
no,
just...
CJ, stop your gabbing for a minute. That's backwards. Well, let's scoot our boots. We gotta get to the game.
What a crowd. Of course, it's a sellout crowd, ladies and gentlemen. 69,812 here for this great playoff game between the Jacksonville Hurricanes and the California Bearcats.
Hey, Houston, you heard of Jimmy Young?
Well, if I'm right, I'm gonna save your life.
What are you talking about? Now, Billy's got scores of cops out there covering the field. Besides, that killer's probably long gone by now.
That's wrong. See, the killer really doesn't care about getting caught. He just cares about revenge.
Revenge? Well, do you know who it is?
Randy, the night Crusher got in a car wreck, you were with him, right?
Yeah, so was Jock, Turley.
Crusher told the police that he was driving. Well, I'll tell you something, Randy, I really don't believe that. Because I saw a picture of that car wreck. The whole rear passenger section of that car was damaged. And there's no way he could have gotten hurt unless he was sitting back there. Now, why don't you start telling me the truth?
I was driving, drunk. I was still in Stryker's good graces back then, and he was afraid if the cops found out I'd be arrested.
So Stryker bribed the Crusher to take the blame for a fat paycheck every week.
Look, I wanted to go to the police the next morning and tell him what really happened. Stryker wouldn't let me. He said not to worry, he would take care of Crusher.
Well, he took care of him all right. He promised him a job for life. Till he found out that the Crusher was still seeing Andrea. Then he said he was going to fire him. So the Crusher is out of a job, and because of you, he's out of a career.
So Crusher killed Stryker, and now you think he's out there?
That's right, and he's waiting for you, Randy. Now, if you go out onto that field, you're going to be a dead man.
Well, I gotta go out there.
Well, no, you really don't have to. Sorry, Britt.
The weatherman has really cooperated for today's game, and the vendors, they're doing an outstanding business. The commissioner...
Houston, are you ready yet? Houston, can you hear me?
I got you, Vince. I'm coming out of the tunnel now.
For this game. And here comes the hero, Dandy Randy Haynes. The California Bearcats sporting a flossy season record 11-3-1 towards the Jacksonville Hurricanes.
Oh, I tell you, Vince, it's some kind of feeling running out onto this field and all those people cheering. Just like old times.
Houston, would you hold on to your ego and listen to me? I got men stationed all over this stadium. Crusher doesn't show up, I'm gonna look pretty silly.
Well, look at it this way, Vince. If my plan backfires and I get myself killed, I'm not gonna be around for you to say I told you so.
This Crusher gets there pretty quick. Biggest damn game of the year. I need that Randy in there.
Believe me, as soon as we get to Crusher, I'm gonna send Randy in.
And if Houston gets killed, I'll send Randy.
This great coach, Buck Shirley, through the years, has been the point of a lot of controversy. But one thing can be said for sure. He usually comes out on top in anything that he tries. And of course...
Hello, Vince. You guys come up with anything yet?
No, nothing yet. Hold on.
What do you got?
We just got a report that there's somebody on the roof. We're checking it out now.
The championship game.
The Hurricanes have the ball deep in their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line.
It's a spread formation. The quarterback drops back. Nobody to throw to. He swings wide to the left side, and the linebacker, number 55, comes up and drops him after a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 17-yard line. Pretty good blocking there, but perhaps a busted play. And at the outside, a Bearcat offside. The full flag went down and played.
Don't move, man. You'll only make it worse.
No, I got a bulletproof vest on. Come on, let me up. Two Mean circle around on the other side.
Along the far sideline, what's that? There goes Randy Haynes and Two Mean running down the side, and they're chasing the mascot. They're chasing the bear. I don't understand this as they run down the ramp to, well, they're out of our vision now, down into the belly of the stadium. We've got to do it over.
Houston, I should have killed you when I had a chance.
Been late for Monday morning quarterbacking, isn't it, Crusher? You're gonna let him out of there. I believe he's got a football game to play.
Right.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate this. You guys were terrific Sunday, beating the Hurricanes the way you did. And do you realize if you win the championship, this football could be worth upwards of...
Is it normal to include a home phone number when signing an autograph?
Absolutely. This way, if anyone ever doubts it, it was really you.
We'll just call you up and you can verify it. Matter of fact, maybe you ought to put your home address down there. In case the phone lines are down.
Houston, I just don't know how to thank you.
Well, you just play next week's game the same way you did Sundays, and we'll call it even. How's that?
Randy, we are so proud of you. Why don't we go have a Texas steak with all the trimmings?
Well, I would love to, CJ, but I've already got plans.
Oh, you do?
Well, you see, in the interest of Bearcat team unity, I'm going to sort of take the cheerleaders to dinner.
I thought you were in training, Randy.
Now, don't worry about it, CJ. I'm sure the girls will give him a good workout.
JD, it's been so long. Maybe this is all a mistake, trying to make a comeback.
Everything's gonna be just fine. Look, I tell you, look at this. Oh, darling.
They did that for me?
All right, now remember, this is just a rehearsal. Take it easy. Try the number. Okay, we're ready.
Good morning. This is Army Archer talking to you from Hollywood. And this is truly a good morning. A morning when beautiful Ramona Landers is back where she belongs, in front of the cameras, for the first time in 12 years, making her new film. Well, we'll be talking to Ramona, and we'll also be talking to her co-star, handsome leading man Todd Gallagher, as well as to the film's financial backer, Mr. Miles Gantry, a most interesting man, a Rodeo Drive jeweler who decided to make his movie business debut by backing this lavish production. And, of course, to brilliant young producer-director, Mr. Bill Claudius, who's at the helm of this multi-million-dollar spectacular.
Crying out loud, she's been in makeup for 3 hours. How long are we supposed to wait?
Until the lady appears, not a moment longer.
I don't understand you. Ramona...
That's exactly the shot I want.
Thing I ever heard.
They don't make stars like you anymore. Not real movie stars.
What you still fail to realize is what can make this tired old love story a classic is the age difference between Ramona and you. It'll be like Bo Derek playing Rick in Casablanca. E.T. as a musical. That's what makes it exciting. Different.
Two cables right over.
Ramona.
Oh, Bill, how nice.
I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you. I haven't received the changes we discussed.
Yeah, you'll get them tomorrow night at the latest. Good?
Good.
Ramona.
Oh, Miles.
Welcome back, Ramona.
Thank you, Army.
We're all interested to know why you chose Delilah for your film return.
Hey, who you kidding, Army?
Well, if it isn't Todd Gallagher, Ramona's leading man.
What really interests America is what body beautiful health nut Ramona Landers really has in her orange juice.
Come on.
Oh, just as we thought, folks. Almost straight 100 proof vodka. So that's what keeps the old girl so well preserved.
Keep tape rolling.
Bud.
Yeah, it's just Dane.
He's dead.
There's an old saying that if you want to deal with someone effectively, the first thing you ought to find out is what his passions are. If the lesson that Murray, Houston's senior VP and financial wizard, never has caught on to, I mean, now here he is, way out at the back of Houston's ranch, trying to talk business with Matt while Matt's wrapped up into the passions of his life. Horses and chili. Texas chili, that is. The only real kind.
Own private satellite into outer space just so you can watch the Oiler games live is really not good business practice.
I never said it was, Murray.
We get the Grand Ole Opry live, too. It's worth whatever it takes just to get to see Dolly Parton and her...
No, I don't think this is going to get it, fellas. It needs 3 more green chilies and 6 more red.
3 more greens and 6 more red. That's exactly what I said. Didn't I say that? I said 3 more greens and 6 reds.
Where are you going?
To the office.
But I'm telling you, in the hound's ear you did, you were talking jalapeno and cactus. But you're the one that tried to hunt pinto beans in the Texas chili.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This is the chili that you've been working on all week? This is the chili that you hope to win the contest with? And in doing so, win that horse, a horse that has become so important to you that I have had to cancel 3 corporate meetings and a merger for? I mean, I don't know why you just don't buy the animal.
You see where I come from. We figure winning's twice as much fun as losing. And this here's the chili that's gonna do it. So what's your point, Murray?
Well, if winning the contest and the horse mean all that much to you, why are you cooking out here? Behind the stable, downwind from the pasture.
Oh, you just don't know nothing, do you? This here's Texas chili, the only real kind. The aroma's just all part of it.
Houston, come on!
Stick around for a while, Murray. You might learn something.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I drove all the way out here because you said you weren't coming into the office.
Well, that was before I found out that somebody tried to kill an old friend of mine yesterday. You see, Ramona Lander's daughter called the office about 20 minutes ago, and she thinks she knows who tried to kill her mother.
Ramona Landers? The movie star? You know her?
Oh, hell, Murray, I bought this ranch from her.
Hey, if you knew anything about Texans, you know that practically makes Ramona family.
By now you should know that another one of Houston's passions, the only one that could pull him away from something as important as chili and horses, is helping friends.
Look, Molly, you're all grown up.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you. I didn't know who to turn to.
I told you a long time ago, Molly, if you or your mom ever needed anything, all you had to do was call. I meant that. Now, CJ tells me you got an idea who tried to kill your mother.
I do. It's my stepfather, J.D. Harris. He's trying to kill her just like he killed my father and twin brother 7 years ago.
Now, that's pretty strong stuff. Have you got any proof?
Well, my twin brother, Eric, who was killed with my father, he told me in a dream.
Would you like to go inside and sit down for a minute?
Okay. First, what you have to know is about my mom and dad. When I try to tell people how much they loved each other, they just kind of smile. I mean, my mom being a famous movie star and my father being an important director. Well, people think they know all about those Hollywood marriages.
Now, listen. You don't have to explain anything about your mother's relationship with your dad. Everyone knows how devoted they were to each other.
Then how could she have remarried just 2 months after he was killed in a plane crash? And especially to J.D. Harris. He was only a stuntman. And ever since they've been remarried, he's kept her away from making movies and all of her friends.
What about the movie she's starting now?
Well, that's just it. He couldn't talk her out of this one. And that's why he has to kill her. Because once she's back with her real friends, she'll see he's just been using her. She'll throw him out without a penny.
Doesn't your stepfather own a chain of self-defense schools?
Right, and every one of those schools my mother paid for. It's just like those books he had published. Nothing he does ever makes money. But Mom's made him her beneficiary. That's why he has to kill her. It's because he wants her money. That's what Eric says.
Your dead brother. In the dream.
Yes.
There was no way of telling how much of Molly's suspicions were based on fact and how many were pure fantasy. But Houston reasoned if there was a chance any of them were true, it was best that someone find out.
It's a cozy little place you got here.
My dad bought it for my mom. They named it Casa de Mantua. Mantua is the place where Romeo and Juliet were supposed to live. If you'd wait down there, my mother should be upstairs. I'll go see if I can find her.
This will save more lives and prevent more rapes than having to fight.
Oh, that's him, by the way.
Impress on them
My
the value of
stepfather.
fast reflexes. Tell him to keep a lock on
Those ladies are his self-defense club managers. He gives them special instruction twice a week.
Hold it. Cammy.
Look, why don't you give me a shout when your mother comes down, all right?
Very impressive.
It's impressive, all right. I just hope it's friendly.
All right, ladies, now you pair off and try.
Hello there. I'll bet you're J.D. Harris, aren't you? I'm Matt Houston. I tell you, I've read a couple of your self-defense books.
You're not welcome here, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe not by you, but your stepdaughter, Molly, seems to think her mother'd kind of like to talk to me.
Well, that was a mistake.
Now watch my arm.
You see, the police are investigating the attempt on my wife's life, and both Ramona and I feel that's quite sufficient.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I just stuck around and heard that from Ramona herself, huh?
My wife isn't feeling well. She's spending the day in her room, and I want you off the property as soon as possible. Like now.
Houston, the maid says Miss Landers is coming downstairs now.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Harris.
I said I want you to leave.
I told you I read your book.
Houston, it's so lovely to see you again.
Ramona, you're looking super.
Oh, thank you. I'm just sorry it has to be under this tragic circumstances. My Molly, she's such an impetuous girl. She means very well, but I'm afraid that she's just wasted your time in asking you to come here.
Just seeing you, Ramona, makes it not a waste of time.
Is Molly going to join us?
No, she had to go on an errand. Excuse me, I don't think I know you.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is C.J. Parsons. She's my top lawyer and a sort of all-around right-hand man. A woman.
Girl.
Girl.
Must be a wonderful person to have Houston put such trust in you. As I was saying, my husband and I have complete confidence in the police investigations.
Mind if I had a sip of that? It's a pretty stiff drink for this early in the day, isn't it?
He makes me. I'm so afraid.
Mona?
Oh, darling, there you are. Houston and I were just talking over old times.
Very tired, darling.
We were just talking.
I think it's time for you to go up to your room.
Now, come on. Surely you couldn't have any objections to a couple old friends just talking, could you?
Sweetheart.
I am a little tired. The strain of the last few days. And J.D. always knows what's best. I do thank you both for coming.
Well, I'd like to say it's been a real pleasure, Mr. Harris, but the only problem is, I've never been much good at lying.
Now, Houston figured what was important was when that orange juice was poisoned. If it was before it was put on the table, then there could be a lot of suspects, like any nut who might have worked at the studio. That's only a couple of thousand.
Now, on the other hand, if it was after, it would have had to have been somebody who could have gotten close enough to that table without looking suspicious.
Meaning someone in the interview.
Right. Your favorite Dr. Chuckles.
J.D. Harris himself.
Right, Ramona's husband. We both know what his motive could be, and according to Molly, that's money and lots of it.
Bill Claudius, the, quote, boy wonder of directors, unquote. Miles Gantry owns a jewelry store on Rodeo Drive. Now, from what I could find out, he's completely financing Ramona's movie, some $5 million.
What do you say we pay a little visit to Mr. Gantry, huh?
Rodeo Drive is right in the heart of Beverly Hills. It's said that some of the most expensive shops in the world are found here. And when you're talking about a jewelry store like the one Miles Gantry runs, well, you're not talking about a store that you can just walk into and browse around. You have to make an appointment.
Beautiful Megan wearing diamonds that once had a war fought over them. Our theme for this month's specials is historic jewels in new and exciting settings. The whole ensemble was once $2,000,001. Now marked down to the incredible $1,000,003. Good afternoon. I'm Miles Gantry. May I be of some service?
Matt Houston, this is C.J. Parsons.
Ah, yes, you called about that dreadful incident yesterday. I don't know what I can tell you. It's terrible what happened to Todd Gallagher. You know, he was the type of young man that everyone liked. He was perfect for that role. Are the police making any progress in finding out who's trying to kill Ramona?
Well, Mr. Gantry, the police are working on lots of ideas, but I'm of the mind that the killer was someone close to Ramona. Probably at the news conference yesterday.
Oh, but that's impossible. There was just Bill, J.D., and myself. You certainly don't think that I love Ramona, and frankly, I resent your implication that I might want to do her harm.
Adorable Audrey, wearing star sapphires from India. They were once paid for ransom by the Maharaja of Kanchipur.
Did you get the distinct feeling that Gantry is trying just a little too hard to sell us on how much he loves Ramona?
Yeah, a lot too hard. Just wish I could figure out a way to find out exactly what that man's really thinking.
CJ. Hello.
Hello.
Tell me, how are the Green Ducks?
Never better.
Green Duck?
Just an inside joke. I met Rick at a party a couple of weeks ago.
What party?
The one you weren't invited to, Houston. The one where I met Rick.
Well, what's he doing here?
He works here, Houston. He's the assistant manager. Now listen, if you really want to find out what Miles Gantry is thinking, why don't I find out what Rick is doing for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me about the Green Ducks?
Houston, haven't you ever seen a green duck?
No.
Then I guess you'll never understand.
CJ? Listen, would you mind a whole hell of a lot if we just got back to the original question? Now, do you know anybody who'd want to poison Ramona?
Like I told the police lieutenant, I haven't the faintest. I'm sorry. I really have to run.
Wait, police lieutenant?
Yeah, Italian fellow. Sort of a cross between Sly Stallone and Bobby De Niro. Name of,
Novelli.
That's it. The last time I saw him, he was headed for the Western Street.
Thanks a lot.
Let's try a walk.
Houston, what are you doing here?
I'll tell you something, Vince. Apparently the same thing you're doing. Trying to find out who tried to kill Ramona Landers. She's a close friend of mine.
Why don't you go keep her company for a couple hours?
Any special reason?
Yeah, because that's how long it's going to take me to get my warrant. I got a witness that saw her husband put something in her orange juice.
Something besides vodka?
Better believe it. Something white, powdery, like maybe poison.
Save it for the camp.
Cable's right over here. Ramona! Marley!
Stop! Stop where you are!
Get an ambulance. It's your husband. Get an ambulance. How's he doing, Vince?
Still alive, but not by much.
Was he able to talk, say who shot him?
No, they don't even know if he's ever going to regain consciousness. It doesn't make any sense, Houston. It's all upside down. Just when we thought we had our killer, the killer almost kills him.
Yeah, I know.
How's Miss Landers taking it?
Well, she's scared, Vince. At least she says she is.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm not sure where Molly or Ramona were while the shooting was going on. I went in the house and I called out for both of them.
Well, they said that we're hiding and we're afraid to answer you.
I know that's what they said, but they also said Harris told them to stay in the house. The trouble is that neither Ramona or Molly know where the other one was during the shooting. I'm just not sure which one of them to believe anymore.
What do you mean?
You see, I had a conversation with Ramona this morning. She said Molly was on an errand. Wrong. I just talked to Molly, and she said Harris had her locked in her room and her mother knew about it all along.
Did you ask her mother about it?
Well, of course I did, and she denied the whole thing. See, she says Molly's been having problems, dreams, nightmares, and that kind of thing. She's been imagining things. Listen, I'm gonna have to run and meet CJ. I'll talk to you later. You ever heard of a green duck?
No. Right about now, that seems reasonable.
Taste buds of a lizard in heat. Not lime juice, nor tequila. Lamar, you haven't been right since you bet on Jerry Cooney.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. What do you two think you're doing?
We're making the world's largest margarita.
Margarita? In there? Oh, no. This is Houston's private jacuzzi. If he ever finds out what you're doing, he'll kill you. Oh, no. He'll kill all of us. Houston, you have to understand, I knew nothing about this. I just arrived and I am as shocked. Shocked, I say, as you are.
What are you fellas doing here?
Well, we delivered the chili to the plane going to San Antonio. We just always stop by for a little nip.
Needs more tequila.
You're all crazy. You know that. You're crazy.
No, easy, Murray. It does need more tequila. Come with me.
CJ, what is it?
I'm going to Mama Novelli's.
With the green ducks?
You want to find out about Miles Gantry? You get green ducks.
But CJ...
By the way, you're doing a wonderful job with those jewels. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you? And how's Miles doing? I'm so glad for you. By the way, you look so good. Oh, here it is. Good. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Oh,
Can I bring you some more spaghetti?
Dear.
I don't need spaghetti. How about some fish? I don't like fish.
Well,
Can I buy
now
you dessert?
don't argue.
CJ, excuse me.
I understand. Not to worry. Everything is just fine. Dear, well.
CJ.
Houston? I should have known it was you.
What'd you find out?
Well, first of all, Miles Gantry lied to us. He hates Todd Gallagher as an actor as well as a human being.
Why'd you put him in his movie?
Because Bill Claudius wanted to be in it. In fact, he insisted upon it. Now, I want you to fasten your seatbelt when I tell you this last piece of information.
Have anything to do with green ducks?
Houston, forget the green ducks. Now, according to my dinner partner, Gantry expects the movie to be a total disaster. Thinks Ramona is over the hill and thinks you might as well just strike a match and burn up the whole $5 million.
Why would a man sink $5 million into a movie when he knows it's going to be a bomb? Listen, I gotta make phone calls. Mama, you know anything about green ducks?
Vergognati! I wash your mouth out with soap. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why?
What do you want to know about green ducks?
Well, it's because of CJ.
Oh, my CJ's a good girl. She should know from green ducks. And don't you tell her, eh?
CJ was... told me about the green ducks.
Hello?
Molly, listen, I gotta ask you a question. You know that diamond necklace your mother was wearing this afternoon? Was that real or was it a copy made for security purposes?
Oh, definitely real. Mom doesn't like fake jewelry. She says only the real ones have any life.
That's what I thought. I'll talk to you later.
could you do it to me?
Do what?
There's no need for a charade. I know all about the jewels. I know you've taken them from me. We are alone in the house. I arranged it that way to make it easier for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Miles. Who else could have done it? You have my jewels every year for cleaning. And you certainly have the expertise to make replicas. It's okay, it's just us, you can tell me.
What are you saying?
As an old friend, I wanted to make it easier for you to do what you've been trying to do for the past few days. Kill me.
Oh, Ramona,
Can't you
please.
see it doesn't matter? I have nothing to live for. A husband who doesn't love me anymore, my youth gone, my wealth gone. I'm sure you had good reason for stealing from me.
Oh, Ramona, for God's sake, stop it. I never tried to kill you. Yes, I took your jewelry, but murder.
Well, I don't guess we can make the murder rap stick, but we can settle for grand theft. Where I come from, $20 million worth of jewelry is very grand.
Yes, I took Ramona's jewels and replaced them with imitations over the past few years. But I also have receipts to show that I paid for every one of them.
That's a lie. I'd never sell my jewels.
No, you wouldn't. But your husband would. Oh, Ramona, he had to. He started selling me the gems just to keep this house going. Then in the last few years, when you started drinking heavier and heavier, he was afraid you'd have another nervous breakdown. He thought a movie offer would bring you out of your depression. But there were no movie offers. So he created one. Sold off the last of your jewels. Gave the money back to me so I could finance your comeback.
I don't believe you. I'm not going to stay here and listen to this.
Oh, yes, you will listen. You know, there's an ugly rumor around town, Ramona, that you may have put the poison in your own drink rather than risk a comeback.
What? That's crazy.
Is it, Ramona? Is it really?
Houston, it is 6 a.m. You have been soaking all night, and we're not getting any closer.
I know it, CJ. That's because this is Hollywood. You see, nothing's real in Hollywood. It's all fake. The diamonds were fake. Gantry was fake. This whole town is based on illusion. It's not what you see, but what you think you see. Just illusion. Wait a minute. Illusion. CJ. Maybe that's what this whole thing is about. CJ, let me ask you a question. Who's dead?
I am. Houston, if my brain is ever gonna work again.
No, CJ, I'll tell you who's dead, and that's Todd Gallagher. You put up that interview tape we were looking at before. If I'm not mistaken, he said something just before he died.
Oh.
Incestuous murderous damn dame. Must be talking about Ramona.
No, he didn't say dame as in woman. He said Dane as in Denmark.
Oh, that sure clears it up.
CJ just might have at that. If Todd Gallagher was the intended victim, CJ, I want you to get all the history you can on Todd Gallagher. You may have just told us who his killer was. Hello, Vince.
Houston, what are you doing here?
Probably the same thing you're doing, just trying to follow up a lead.
Go home. Clip coupons. It's a waste of time. Just another burglary. Headquarters tried to tie Gallagher's name with Ramona Landers. No connection.
You know as well as I do, when a prominent person dies, a lot of second-story guys come out of the woodwork.
Usually, while the funeral's going on.
Oh, did they get anything of value?
Who knows? The only person here is the maid. She doesn't speak English. See you later.
All right. Buenos dias. Me llamo Matt Houston. ¿Se habla usted inglés? ¿Se habla usted anything? Habla usted Ben Franklin?
What do you want to know, cowboy?
That's what I thought. Tell you, I need some information. Did Mr. Gallagher have a special place where he'd hide special things like a safe or anything like that?
Oh, see, a very secret place.
Good. Yeah.
Sígame. Aquí. Underneath the arches.
Super.
Are you hungry? Would you like some hot coffee and toast?
I'd love some. Why don't you make mine black? Know something? You're turning out to be a very expensive date, senor.
Señorita.
No comprende. CJ, what'd you get?
The information you wanted on Todd Gallagher? About 8 years ago, when our friend was in college, he did appear in a production of Hamlet.
Yeah, let me guess. He played the role of Hamlet.
Houston, if you knew all this, why did I bother?
See, that's what I'm getting to. See, at the end of the play, the king poisons Hamlet. He's also killed his father. And he marries his mother, then he kills her off, too.
They talk about violence on television.
Anyway, he attacks the king, saying, incestuous, murderous, damn dame.
Oh, terrific. Now all we have to do is find out who the king is.
I think we just have. Why don't you come on out of there?
Houston, nice to see you again. What can I do for you today?
Well, I found what you missed at Gallagher's place. Your press clippings from Leland College.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do. See, it was an 8-year-old newspaper story about a drama student who killed his brother and then disappeared. He was a real bright kid. See, he used to act and direct in all the campus productions. The night his brother was killed, he played the murdering king in Hamlet.
Well, it would appear my career in Hollywood is over. Actually, I was getting rather bored with it anyway.
Why don't you tell me what kind of a man can kill his brother and then assume the name of Claudius, the murdering king in Hamlet?
A clever one, yes?
Then you made your way out here, made a real success for yourself. Then Todd Gallagher showed up. He recognized you from college. He blackmailed you into using him in all your movies.
It really wouldn't have been so bad had he been a better actor.
Then you found a way to get rid of him, didn't you? You knew how upset he was about playing opposite Ramona. You told him the only way to get rid of her was to humiliate her publicly. You put the poison in Ramona's glass, but only when you were sure Todd Gallagher was gonna drink from it.
jerk. Can't you see you're on a take? Cut! Hey, go back. Go back.
Not real! None of it's real!
Could have been killed.
Huh?
The car.
The car.
About a week after Houston almost exploded himself into movie history, J.D. Harris was released from the hospital. And he explained that the white powdery substance he was lacing Ramona's drinks with were in fact multivitamins to keep her strength up. And Ramona, finding out how much her husband really loved her, well, she seemed to be getting better herself. But the news that has Houston all excited today is that he found out he won the chili contest. And his prize horse was already here. Oh yeah, the bad news. I'm afraid that's what Bo and Lamar are about to spring on him.
My horse. He's here. He's in there, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but,
But what?
well, it's nothing, Houston. It was just kind of good news and bad news. Like, you remember we had that rain last night?
Wait a minute. He didn't take sick, did he?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just that, well, he kind of, shrunk. Yeah.
You? Yeah. Is he housebroke?
Well, he ain't caused no problem yet. Good.
Oh. Look at you.